Hello and welcome. This is a submission for the most kills during the third week of the Grand Naval Battles event, but it wasn't quite enough to win. However, I liked this match enough that I took 100 diamonds from the reserve that I kept to award it to this match. For the fourth week of the Grand Naval Battles event that is still going on, I am still accepting replays for the best moment. I'm also accepting skin modding contest submissions, but there's probably not enough time for that one. But if you want to know more, then click on the link in the description of the video. Anyways, moving on to the match, our hero today is O_8 Eos, or Obeos. I'm just gonna call him Eos though. He is in the tier 10 Japanese cruiser, the Zao. Or Senjo. That's why, because she was named that before. Anyways, it seems like a fairly equal match in terms of ships, more or less anyway. But this match is on the map Ocean. It's a high tier match, so lots of things can happen here. Interesting thing is, why would you name yourself this? I don't understand. It's unpronounceable. I guess maybe if you like deal with people who actually know you, it's okay. Anyways, remember, the Senjo is incredibly accurate, even at long range. The shells are really fast, although this salvo definitely missed. Oh well, whatever. The nice thing about Senjo is that you can use her to shoot destroyers from long range, because your guns are really, or the shells are really fast, and your guns are really accurate. You can actually hit them reliably. Not to mention your HE damage is ridiculous. Anyways, Eos's team seems to be converging on A and B, although they did lose one of their destroyers. The enemy team lost a destroyer at A as well, so it's equal because both teams lost Shimakaze. It seems there are some walls of torpedoes incoming, but I think that should be completely fine, unless Eos wants to stay really far away. And it seems he picks the route that has the ship stay further away. I probably would have turned the other way to try to go through the torpedoes, but that's okay. Right now he is out of range. By the way, if you are new to playing tier 9 cruises, or maybe just don't know it, on tier 9 and higher cruises you should essentially always get the range upgrade module. This puts, for instance, the Senjo at 18.8 kilometers range. Like, he could shoot that guy right there, but it's usually not that useful. Also, if you have full concealment upgrades, then your concealment range is 9.7 kilometers, and it's like 15.8 kilometers when you fire your guns. So if there are no carriers with their pesky planes around, or destroyers are out of range, destroyers are out of range, you can actually stealth fire really easily on the Zao. But then again, I mean, at high ranges it's not that important to even stealth fire, because enemies just aren't going to hit you in return anyway. Eos finished off that Benson nicely. Considering the range it was at, that's pretty crazy. Not for a Senjo, but like in general for cruises and similar. The reason why Eos fires HE is because HE just does so much damage. There's no reason to risk firing AP and have it just deflect. It's much safer to keep firing HE. By the way, he spots a Shimakaze, well, did quite a while ago, and just kept them, and just shot him. I think Eos is gonna try to chase behind the Shimakaze and, well, meanwhile, just shell the Hipper, or alternatively, just not fire at all. Wow. Two salvos in a row, torpedo tubes destroyed. Anyways, this Shimakaze is pretty much dead. I don't see what she could potentially do to avoid dying here. She already used her smoke. It seems she already has dropped her torpedoes, so she can't really expect to catch Eos off anymore. And even if she did now, I think she would still die before, you know, those torpedoes could save her. And goodbye, Shimakaze. Okay, she did fire torpedoes after all, but it's a bit late for that. Like, even if they hit and killed Eos, which, you know, they're not gonna do, it wouldn't have been good enough. Okay, so the situation on the map is that both teams have got one cap zone, but it seems the fighting is focused around A. This means that just a few ships could go and take off C from the enemy's hands. However, Eos's team could easily lose A as well. But then again, there isn't really much for Eos to do at the moment, because he is a bit he's not in a bad position, but there just isn't anything to do here. Like, imagine if he was like a dreadnought ship with like 20 knots speed. Okay, at this point, if I were in Eos's stead, I would actually start shelling the Yamato from here, while moving towards C. Mainly because you could have already fired way earlier. And now you actually get like one less shot off, because before you get detected. It seems the enemy Yamato is trying to go for B, or at least is on that route. Eos is heading for C. He doesn't know where the enemy gearing is. Oh, by the way, this should be before 0.5.6, so this means that spotting range for while firing for the Zao should be like 15.3 or 2 or something like that kilometers. Anyways, I think the biggest threat here is the Zao, actually, if he keeps firing. And, well, it seems Eos doesn't want to fire his guns. He swaps to AP, and meanwhile he just disappears because he has 9.7 kilometers concealment range. He swaps to AP to do a nice salvo on the Hipper, because the Hipper keeps sailing broadside on, and it was a massive salvo. 30,700 damage in one salvo. We talked with strangers about HE and AP, and in this case AP is fine, obviously, but strangers thought, and I agree with him, is this way. You use AP in a cruiser to start the fight, or you predict the enemy is going to show you broadside and you swap to it before. But essentially what you do is you fire a salvo with AP to start the fight, and then you switch to HE immediately, because presumably the enemy is going to start doing evasive maneuvers, which means that if the enemy angles, your AP just won't penetrate. Whereas your AP will deal massive damage. Look at this, this is an almost dead Zao, and that HE salvo still did 4,500 damage and set a fire. Whereas if he had fired AP, that probably would have been like 700 damage. Which is fine, I guess, considering you can get those 30,000 damage salvos, but remember that if you get enough of those 4,000 to 8,000 damage HE salvos, then that just makes up for the one massive AP salvo. Like, look at this, this is 5,600 damage on the Yamato. With HE. Like, cruisers aren't gonna take much less damage. And I'm pretty sure this Yamato is going to succumb to the fire. Oh, okay, not fire, but the HE salvos. Then again, I mean, there's multiple ships shooting her, and another fire. But the Yamato's damage control party was in effect, and it seems the Yamato is actually intent on shooting this Mogami. I guess he doesn't see the Zao as a big of a threat, I guess. Or as big of a threat. Or maybe he thinks that he can actually kill the Mogami, whereas he probably can't kill the Zao. Okay, and the Yamato's down. And now I think, because the points are fairly equal, the ship numbers are fairly equal, although the enemy team is in the... Eos's team is in the lead. I still think that this game could go either way, because if Eos's team doesn't get some kind of points back soon, then they might not have the luxury to wait until the game ends. Or I guess they could take B. That could give them quite a points advantage as well. Looking at HP, they are probably going to lose their Mogami. Nagato maybe too. The Tirpitz here is, well, if you see a Tirpitz that has over 70,000 HP, then it's a really good giveaway that either the Tirpitz player isn't very good at knowing or at picking commander skills, etc., or, you know, the commander skills just aren't optimal. In either case, it's a really easy thing to tell that Tirpitz probably isn't going to be too much of a threat. Although AS tries to be careful about it anyway. If I were in AS's stead, I would probably just sail into the Tirpitz or towards her. Okay, it seems AS's team's destroyer is going to cap B. This should start putting them nicely in the points lead. AS just got Confederate, although this Tirpitz is dying really slowly. Like, the edgy shells she takes don't seem to hit her too hard, but then again I think a lot of it has to do with where the shells are landing. They seem to be hitting the belt areas, etc. quite a lot, so kinda makes sense. Maybe AS is aiming a bit too low, I don't know. Like, look at this, this was 11 hits and only 1600 damage. That definitely means the shells aren't hitting the superstructure nicely. Okay, the Tirpitz is actually within range of torpedoes, but I wouldn't fire them either. Maybe the friendly cruiser would have just sailed into them. Now it's fine though. The unfortunate thing with fighting a Tirpitz is that she has... oh, AS actually had switched AP. The unfortunate thing with fighting a Tirpitz is the fact that her guns turn so quickly. Once they finish with their target, they can immediately swap to you. And they will be able to turn their guns towards you before you can actually, you know, you don't get too much time. Tirpitz fired her front guns and did some damage, but it seems that Tirpitz's superstructure is like out of HP or something, because she barely takes any damage from this. Oh, and that was actually a Citadel hit. Nice shot by the Tirpitz. But yeah, I think AS might really be... Oh, okay, never mind, AS had switched AP. That's understandable. Look at this, this is 5000 damage on the belt of the Tirpitz with a cruiser's AP. That was only 6 shells as well, not all 12. And I think the Tirpitz is dead. Yep. Well, Kraken unleashed on AOS. So now there's an enemy Mogami left. And who else? It's a Gearing and a Lexington. Okay. Well, in terms of ships, it's still more or less equal. They have 2 battleships. Wait, is that Mogami AFK or something? Might be. Let's see. Nope, the Mogami does not appear to be AFK after all, I think. Or maybe she is. I don't know. I think she might be AFK. At least she isn't reacting at all. AS is firing HE, which I think is the right decision. The enemy DD is capping B, which might not be very good for AS's team, considering the fact that they have... AS is the only cruiser, everything else is a battleship. And the enemy DD seems to be inside smoke, because the planes at B can't spot her. Can we see that? No, we can't see the battleship. And I think the friendly Nagato is actually going to die. And that should put them equalish in points. Well, okay, not quite equalish, but a lot more equal. They still have the Gearing. AS takes a really long range shot on a DD, which is very unlikely to hit because, you know, it's a DD. Especially if they keep going backwards. Like, once the DD goes, oh no, I'm not going to go backwards. From this kind of range, it's just really hard. But look at this. 8-second shell travel time at 15 kilometers. On a cruiser. Pretty crazy. It seems the friendly Nagato probably isn't going to be living long. Even just the shells from the gearing are doing enough damage. Nagata is at 8,000 HP. Although maybe the gearing doesn't... Oh, never mind, she does have spotting due to the dive bombers. And yeah, the dive bombers are definitely going to finish that Nagata off. I wonder if he can... Oh, never mind, that's a Yamato. Okay, the Lexington is not going to kill that Yamato. There is no way. Because she is almost full HP still. But what is important is for Eos to go and cap a B. Otherwise, this really might not go well for them. Or become incredibly close. Wait, is the Nagato on fire? I think the Nagato is on fire. Come on, game, why do you do this? Yep, bye Nagato. Okay, so they are literally equal in points, but this means Eos, or I mean the opposing team, actually took the lead. Because, well, they have 2 caps, but I think Eos is going to kill this gearing. Because, you know, it's gearing. What the hell is it gonna do against the... Oh my god! Wow, all of them missed. Wow, very well dodged by the gearing. Very, very well dodged. But I think this should be enough for Eos. The unfortunate thing right now is, because of the... Look at where the torpedoes went, right? Eos had to turn away. I definitely agree with that. But the thing is that they don't have this time. You don't have time for this, Eos. I'm sorry, Eos, but you really don't have time for this. You should have risked going the other way, because look at this, there's only 2 minutes left. And they are going to tick into the points lead, because it takes forever to do this kind of a loop and go back into B. So this might actually go really, really badly for them. And that gearing might have done an incredible job with that torpedo salvo. Especially because we knew where it went. If we hadn't known it, then perhaps Eos wouldn't have turned away and would have just turned into B and wouldn't have known better. But he did this time, so he tried turning away. Okay, the enemy Lexington is visible, but look at the points. There's only a 7-point difference. That 7 points is down to 3 now. Killing the Lexington is the only way. The enemy team is at 1 point in the lead. 5 points in the lead. It takes 45 seconds to cap a zone. At least it should take, more or less. But the enemy team is 9 points in the lead. That means even if they cap this zone, there isn't enough time for them to get the points lead. So they need to kill this Lexington. This is literally the only way. Oh, that salvo was very good by the Yamato. Okay, 4,500 HP by the Lexington, 25 seconds left. Okay, I think they might have come back from the brink here. Oh no! No, that salvo mostly missed. Oh, fire! Excellent, a fire, a fire, a fire. That fire is going to be very good. And those torpedoes as well, but 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god! Wow, what an ending. That was incredibly close. Like, just a few seconds. Okay, not quite as close as the best moment for the Kakarov one, but very, very close. That was incredible. Just think of this. That one torpedo salvo that they saw coming from the gearing made Eos turn away, and as a result, it brought the enemies in the points lead. What just one cap can do, and one torpedo salvo that doesn't even hit anything. Quite crazy. Anyways, congratulations, Eos. You got your 100 diamonds for that awesome ending of the match. You also got 400,000 credits for this match, 7,500 experience, although I suspect a lot of that has to do with multipliers like flags. Confederate, Kraken Unleashed, High Caliber, you did a whole bunch of damage, 170,000 of it to be exact. Okay, that's not actually exact. Exact is 170,227. 229 shell hits, that's par for the course. And Senjo, 14 planes shot down, 7 ships destroyed, which is actually the number 2 result in general. The number 2 most kills submissions was 7 kills, but they got more experience than you did. 10 fires, 4 citadel hits, 8 base defenses, and 2 full solo caps. Very well done. In terms of experience, that's a really good result. 3,771 base experience. By the way, look at the Shokaku. 2,000 experience in a carrier is a very good result, especially if you actually shoot down 54 planes while doing that. So the Shokaku actually also played really well. I don't know about the Yamato. You could go either way. I mean, he did survive, which, you know, was a really big deal, but if he maybe had been in the thick of the battle more, it wouldn't have been this close. Oh well, Eos did incredibly well though. In the detailed report, you can see how the 170,000 damage is. It's 46,000 damage with AP. That's a very surprising amount. And only 97,000 with HE, but then again, you should add the fire damage to the HE damage, so it's a bit higher. Match lasted 19 minutes and 59 seconds, apparently, somehow. I'm pretty sure the game ended with the timer running out, but... Oh, no, it didn't. I forgot Eos killed the Lexington 1 second before the end. But yeah, this was a great match. Thank you very much for submitting it, Eos, and if you guys enjoyed this video, then please subscribe, and thanks for watching.